Congratulations! You're a blobfish. You just became the ugliest animal on planet Earth. Not kinda ugly, not unfortunate looking. You literally won an actual competition for being the most hideous creature alive. There was a vote. Humans from around the world agreed you are the face of despair. And trust me, your life is exactly as depressing as you look. The tragic birth, okay? So you're born. You're a baby blobfish, floating around in the deep ocean off the coast of Australia. And already, you're dealt the worst hand imaginable. First of all, you don't look like other baby fish. You don't look cute. You don't look promising. You look like someone tried to sculpt a fish out of raw chicken and gave up halfway through. But here's the thing: down in the deep ocean where you live, about 2,000 to 4,000 feet below the surface, you actually look kind of normal. You're a pinkish, gelatinous fish with a relatively standard fish shape. You've got fins, a tail, a face. Nothing special, but nothing horrifying either. You're just vibing in the deep sea darkness, minding your own business. But here's where your nightmare truly begins. Humans don't see that version of you. See, when humans drag you up from the deep ocean in fishing nets, which happens because humans fish for lobster and crab in your neighborhood, and you're just collateral damage, the pressure change absolutely destroys you. You go from living under 120 times the atmospheric pressure at sea level to regular pressure. And your body, it can't handle it. You literally expand and deflate like a sad, fleshy balloon. The ugly truth, so you get pulled up to the surface, and suddenly you transform into the most depressing thing anyone has ever seen. Your face melts. Your body turns into jelly. You look like a grumpy old man who's given up on life, mixed with a pile of sentient snot. Your nose, if you can even call it that, droops down like you've been crying for 40 years straight. Your mouth turns into this permanent frown that screams, "Why was I even born?" You've got these sad, droopy eyes that make you look like you just watched every single person you've ever loved leave you. And that gelatinous body, it's not muscle, it's not fat. It's literally just blob. You're 90% goo and 10% regret. And here's the most insulting part: this isn't even your real form. This is what happens when you die from pressure change. You're being judged on your corpse. Imagine if aliens abducted humans, took them to space where there's no pressure, and then everyone looked at our exploded bodies and said, "Wow, humans are disgusting." That's your entire reputation. You're famous for how you look when you're dead. And because humans have the attention span of a goldfish with ad, nobody cares about the science. They just see you and go, "Lol, ugly fish." In 2013, you literally won the world's ugliest animal competition. You beat the proboscis monkey, the kakapo, and the axolotl. Do you know how ugly you have to be to beat a monkey with a nose the size of a banana? The fame you never wanted, so now you're famous. Congratulations! You're a meme. You're on t-shirts. You're in textbooks. You're the poster child for nature's failures. But here's what nobody tells you. Your actual life in the deep ocean is just as tragic as your reputation. Let's talk about where you live. You're chilling at the bottom of the ocean, 2,000 to 4,000 feet down. It's pitch black. It's freezing cold. The pressure is so intense it would crush a human like a soda can. You live in what's basically the ocean's forgotten garbage dump. No sunlight, no coral reefs, no tropical vibes, just rocks, mud, and the occasional deep sea nightmare creature passing by. And what do you do all day? Nothing. You don't swim. You don't hunt. You don't have friends. You literally just sit there on the ocean floor like a depressed couch potato waiting for food to float by. You don't have muscles. You don't need them because you don't do anything. You're basically a sentient blob of jello with a bad attitude. Your entire existence is sit, wait, eat, repeat. That's it. That's the whole life. You're not even good at sitting. You just kind of slump. Like a deflated beach ball that's accepted its fate. But it gets worse. Because not only do you live the most boring life imaginable, you also have zero defenses. And in the deep ocean, that's basically a death sentence. The survival nightmare. Let's talk about how you survive. Spoiler alert, you barely do. First, let's discuss your body. You're made of gelatinous tissue that's slightly less dense than water. You know why? So you can float just above the ocean floor without using energy. Sounds smart, right? Wrong, because that same body means you have zero protection, no scales, no armor, no venom, no speed, no camouflage that actually works. You're a slow, moving blob of unprotected flesh in an environment full of things with teeth. Your defense strategy: hope nobody's hungry. That's it. That's the plan. Oh, and let's talk about food. You're a carnivore, which sounds cool until you realize you don't actually hunt. You just sit there with your mouth open like a sad trash can, waiting for small crustaceans, mollusks, or sea urchins to wander close enough for you to lazily gulp them down. You're not a predator. You're a bottom feeder with depression. And here's the kicker. Because you live so deep and move so little, scientists barely know anything about you. They don't know how you reproduce. They don't know your lifespan. They don't even know your exact population numbers. You're so irrelevant to the ecosystem that science basically shrugged and said, "We'll figure it out later." The human problem. Now let's talk about the thing that makes your life even worse, humans. You're not even a target for fishing. You're not valuable. Nobody wants to eat you. You taste terrible, probably like sadness and regret with a hint of ocean floor. But you live in the same area where humans fish for crabs and lobsters. So you get scooped up in fishing nets as bycatch. You get dragged up thousands of feet. The pressure change kills you. Your body expands and melts into that horrifying blob form. And then humans take one look at you and go, throw it back. Except you're already dead. So you just get tossed overboard, like garbage. You died for nothing. You're not food. You're not research. You're just an accident that ruined someone's day by existing. And if you do survive long enough to get photographed, congratulations! You're about to become a viral meme. Look at this ugly fish, lol. Millions of people will see your melted corpse and laugh. You'll be turned into plush toys, stickers, reaction images. Your suffering is entertainment. The conservation insult, oh, and here's the best part, you're not even protected. You're not classified as endangered because scientists don't have enough data. They don't know how many of you exist, so they can't officially say you're in trouble. But deep sea trawling is destroying your habitat. Fishing nets are killing you by the dozens. Climate change is warming the oceans and messing with deep sea ecosystems. And what's being done about it? Pretty much nothing. You're too ugly to be a conservation mascot. Nobody wants to save the blobfish. There's no cute fundraising campaign with your face on it. Sea turtles get celebrity endorsements. Dolphins get rescue centers. Pandas get entire breeding programs. You get laughed at on Reddit. Even environmentalists look at you and go, yeah, we'll get to you eventually. Maybe. Probably not. So let's review your entire existence. You're born as a gelatinous blob in the darkest, most depressing part of the ocean. You spend your entire life sitting on the seafloor doing absolutely nothing. You have no muscles, no defenses, and no friends. When you die, usually because you got accidentally scooped up by fishing nets, your body melts into the most hideous form imaginable, and humans vote you the ugliest animal on Earth. You become a meme, a joke, a symbol of giving up. And even in death, nobody cares enough to protect your species. You're not just ugly, you're tragic. You're the living embodiment of cosmic unfairness. Being a blobfish isn't just bad luck, it's proof that the universe has a cruel sense of humor. Honestly, you deserve better, but you're never going to get it. If you thought the blobfish had it rough, wait until you see my next video where I roast the sunfish, a creature so stupid it makes the blobfish look like a genius. Trust me, you need to see this disaster. Click now.